the scariest part about all of this is the fact that it's actually quite normal these days. Saying, if you gotta be led off of the stage, how the hell can you be leading the country right now and be the leader of the free world at that? Bro, this is scary. You know, Obama over there like, hey, you know what I mean? He grabbed his hand like, get your ass up over. He grabbed his hand like my mama did when I was a kid trying to pick up stuff at the store. Like, bring your ass on, come on. What were they here for? I don't know. Honestly, I've been, trying to figure out if they had any more footage that has hit the internet, but it hasn't. Only thing we have right now is this exchange.
And guess what? It's growing. The economy's growing. People are doing better. We have the lowest unemployment rate in 50 years. We have more people. We've had over 15 million people brand new hired into the workforce. You know, my son says, we all have various short-term descriptions for your jobs, for what you accomplished. And you should say Joe Jobs.
Now, before I do the messed up part of this whole thing right now, which is translate what he actually just said, the fact that he said his son, the one that just got found, okay. Anyhow, the translation says, quote, we have the highest unemployment rate in 50 years. You know, my son says, I'm still translating, y'all. Back to translating. We all have various short descriptions for your jobs. You should say Joe Jobs. Meanwhile, Obama is staring there in agony. I don't even know if Obama's convinced at this point. He over there like, man, you really about to make us put in a new law to make sure I can get back in that office, dog. Because right now, bro, you messing up my fourth term. That thing is, I'm mostly just, curious to see how he stands up from the chair. After seeing him getting escorted off the stage, I'm over here like... And I'm saying, seriously though, I cannot fathom how he would sit there and think that saying my son in the middle of a sentence right now would be, okay for him. Like, dog, take advice from your addict son. Now, I ain't here to just make fun of people and they, addictions and things of that nature. We all got our shortcomings, but man, you the one who set the president with all of those, somebody get caught with this much crack videos. You don't know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know.
People would ask me, knowing what you know now, do you wish like you had a third term? And I used to say, you know what, if I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony. Wow. I'd be fine.
Again, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. That's all I'm gonna say. But we know that none of this is a surprise to us in terms of Donald Trump heading the polls and also taking not only the American people, the whites and all that, whatever, you know what I'm saying, but the black community. Historic numbers are starting to show favor for Donald Trump. And actually, they're leaving CNN speechless. Literally, I don't know what's going on with CNN lately too, dog. Like they've been having some common sense with they reporting lately.
CNN senior data reporter Harry Enton is with us. So where does the race stand among African American voters right now?
Yeah, I keep looking for this to change, to go back to a historical norm, and it simply put has not yet. So this is the margin, or Biden and Trump among black voters, compare where we were at this point in 2020, compare where we are now. At this point, look at this. In 2020, Joe Biden was getting 86% of the African-American vote. Look at where it is now. It's 70%. That's a 16-point drop, John. And more than that, it's not just that Joe Biden is losing ground, it's that Donald Trump is gaining ground. You go from 7%, single digits at this point in 2020, to now 21%. And again, John, I keep looking for signs that this is going to go back to normal, and I don't see it yet in the polling. If anything, right now we're careening towards a historic performance for a Republican presidential candidate, the likes of which we have not seen in 6 decades.
And when you dig into this number here, what is the makeup of that number?
This is where we get very interesting. So I decided to dive deeper into the crosstabs, figure out where is it that Joe Biden is truly struggling among black voters. All right, so this is black voters, Biden versus Trump margin. Look at black voters age 50 and older, and you'll see, look, Joe Biden was leading amongst this group at this point by 83 points back in 2020. Now it's 74 points. So yeah, a slight decline in that margin, but nothing out of this world. Look at black voters under the age of 50. Holy cow, folks. Holy cow. Look at this.
Boom.
Joe Biden was up by 80 points among this group back at this point in 2020. Look at where that margin has careened down towards. It's now just, get this, 37
That's
points.
insane.
That lead has dropped by more than half, Mr. Berman. I just never seen anything like this. I'm like
43%.
Because you always look at history and you go, okay, this is a historic moment. If this polling is anywhere near correct, we are looking at a historic moment right now where black voters under the age of 50, which have historically been such a big part of the Democratic coalition, are leaving it in droves.
That is a huge drop over a 4-year period, at least right now. All right, what's the impact of third-party candidates?
Y'all, this ain't got nothing to do with nothing, but I ain't know my hat can do this. I'm not even lying. What is this for? Can somebody tell me the purpose of this? Hold up, I like these hats too, you know what I'm saying? Hold up, your boy looking like, I don't know what I look like, bro. I look like unidentified species.
Candidacies here, Robert Kennedy Jr.
Yeah, so, all right, so obviously we have third-party candidates this year with the two major party candidates being so disliked. All right, so this is black voters, Biden versus Trump in the battleground states. This was according to a poll last month from the New York Times, Siena College. Again, looks very similar to what we see nationally, right? Joe Biden at 63, a very poor position for a Democratic candidate. Donald Trump at 23%. If we add Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to this, look at where Joe Biden drops to. Less than half the vote among black voters. Less than half the vote among black voters in the battleground states. Donald Trump drops as well to 14%. So
he said that like he said something wrong. He had to make sure.
Quite nearly as historic. But look at this. RFK with 11%. You basically have a legitimate sort of three-way race here. Yeah, Joe Biden well ahead. But with less than 50% of the vote, John, I never thought I would see something like this among black voters.
And for those questioning who Robert Kennedy would hurt more, at least in these numbers, in this measurement right here, Biden loses 14, Trump loses 9. So it's clearly Joe Biden.
It's exactly right. It seems to me this is, yes, it's partially a artifact of Donald Trump perhaps being better liked among black voters, but it's also a real artifact of Joe Biden being significantly less liked among black voters than he was 4 years ago.
Harry Etten, great to see you. Thank you very much.
And this is why bringing Obama out to your events ain't going to help you convince the American people, black American people, that is, Joe Biden. And I'm so sick of people, the Republican Party out here trying to pander to black people. No. First of all, both parties have to campaign to, all of us, but I would like to say that the pandering is happening from the left. It's happening from the Biden administration because he's not really genuine about his approaches as he tries to talk to the American people, let alone, African American people. He's not focused on actually trying to help move any of us forward. He's only centered on making his pockets fuller. And because of that, we've been fortunate and blessed enough to leave that Democrat plantation. And fortunately, I was able to leave, you know what I'm saying? There's so many others. And I couldn't have said it any better than she's about to say it to you.
What's crazy is the fact that people say that the Republicans pander to the black community, but the Democrats are the ones telling you, you need us. We're going to support you. Here's this handout, but it's just enough to barely make it. Like, you're not going to ball out, but you'll always need them. The Republican Party is saying, you don't need us. You got this. You're capable of anything. This is America. Make it happen. See, that's why people don't want to hear what I have to say, because what I'm going to say is do the work.
Yep.
Stop waiting for a handout. Reparations ain't never coming. And you know what's even crazier is letting the 10 million plus illegal immigrants that are coming over here and taking all of the American jobs. Pretty soon they're not going to need the black vote, because they're letting in their voters that are going to vote to have handouts and be taken care of like they already are. So you go ahead and enjoy the pandering from the Democrats, black community, LGBTQ community, people of color, all of y'all, yes, enjoy it, because it's going to end soon.
And you know what? She's not lying. We've been able to see through the smoke and mirrors this whole time. We knew the whole plot as to why Joe Biden decided to keep the borders open, and we know why now. And this specific time, he wants to try to put a stop to it, to try to get some more votes. But what's happening is these illegal aliens that they let migrate here are now getting driver's license. First of all, they at the first thing. I'm sorry, I can't even talk. It's just throwing me off so bad. But the very first thing is they're spending our tax dollars. And that money could be used for so much more. But we got these illegal migrants getting signed up for driver's license and signed up to vote at the DMV. This happened in Georgia.
Illegal aliens come to my state, Georgia. They're allowed to get a driver's license, but the DMV is signing them up to vote.
Wow.
Say that again.
Wow.
And our rhino Republicans, the House and the Congress, Chuck Payne, Casey Carpenter, won't change the laws.
Wow.
They're passing the buck to the supervisors of the elections to check their IDs.
Do you believe that it's the state's responsibility to take care of illegal immigrants, or should it be the federal government responsibility?
The federal government opened the border. The federal government needs to take care of them without borrowing money, without displacing our students and making them learn remotely like they did in New York to give them their high school. We know what that did during COVID. My nephews almost failed because they had to stay at home and learn.
What you say? Illegals being allowed to vote? Oh, another conspiracy theory coming true. Say it isn't so. We've been telling you people this was going to happen. Fuck it.
Yeah, they was, man. I ain't gonna lie. There was a whole lot of people trying to warn us about all of this stuff. But in that era, I was a Trump hater. Bro. So blinded by TDS. I was infected with TDS, y'all. Y'all know you got TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, and then you got the Trump derangement infection. Once you get infected, the syndrome symptoms are you can live with them. But the infection, totally different, bro. Y'all, we can't make the same mistake again.